We set aside to spend 2 days in Sacramento, and my expectations were not crazy high. I imagine that Sacramento is all about politics, and I can take only so much of it. But I must say that I left the city with 3 certain epiphanies. One is never assume anything, because it really screws up that initial reaction, the accuracy of initial reaction when you see the place, and that way you don't have that feeling of, oh, this is better than I thought, or this is worse than I thought. Number 2 is it is here that first piece of gold that started gold rush era and basically gave birth to strike the gold mentality that changed the entire world forever. It happened here. And number 3 is I loved Sacramento, and I also had a great conversation with Jacqueline Gage. She's a realtor and a YouTuber here in Sacramento, and she gave us a lot of ins and outs of life and culture of Sacramento, so it was a lot of fun, and I'll share it with you. But first, please like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends, and it is truly the best way to support the channel. In spite, or maybe because of recent political climate, I highly recommend visiting the Capitol. It is open to public and it is absolutely beautiful. The Capitol has majestic circular ground plan, a rotunda that is covered by a dome in a Roman style, and the floor, the neoclassical details are all so beautiful. A lot of symbolic details here too, and I talked a lot about it in a separate video, and I linked it, so make sure to check it out. It is a lot of fun. What struck me the most is that somehow I felt empowered as I walked through the hallways of this people's house. And I know I am one person, one vote, but people who work in this building work for me, for my family, and for you. And knowing who they are and meeting them and asking them questions and voting them in or out, it's our job, and it's an important one. The Capitol Park was quite interesting too. It felt like a reminder that our votes and their decisions have consequences. The park has so many war memorials, and a lot of times these wars are results of bad decisions, and this Vietnam War memorial is a powerful reminder of that. These black granites have 6,000 names engraved. These are names of young Californians died in Vietnam War, so our vote matters much more than we think. By the Capitol, there is a Cathedral of Blessed Sacramento, built in 1887, at a time when Sacramento was transitioning into a capital. The exterior of the cathedral is Italian Renaissance. The interior is more of a Victorian style, and this interior dome stands at 34 meters high. Outside of the Capitol bubble, there's the rest of the city. And if I could describe it in one word, I would probably say it's multinational, and not multicultural, more like multinational. And everywhere you look, there's a restaurant or a shop or a tree transplanted from another country. When people started moving to Sacramento during summers, it's hot and dry, and there was no relief because there was no trees. So people, when they were moving from different countries, started bringing their trees with them, and because this area has 2 rivers, some of the trees bloomed even better than in their native habitat. I also found this fantastic spice shop that carries spices from many countries, and it is the first time I got to see an entire wall of different chili spice, which is so very cool. We dined at this English restaurant, Camden's Spit and Larder. It is British slang for kitchen and pantry. The place was really nice. I had gazpacho, which is not very British, but very delicious. Evenings in Sacramento are so nice. The heat is finally gone, and the weather and lights are so wonderful, and the Capitol building at night is absolutely beautiful. Sacramento is set in a valley with two rivers running through it, Sacramento and San Joaquin. It is prime farmland and also a reason why all these trees from all over the world were able to thrive here. This is Tower Bridge over Sacramento River, and it connects West and East Sacramento. It seems to be a focal point of the city. You can see it from the Capitol as a reminder to overlook all of the city, High Street and Main Street. West Sacramento is much more relaxed part of the city. We had breakfast in this treehouse cafe, and it felt like somebody's house with a backyard where they grow fruits and veggies and then cook for you. The really cool fact about Sacramento is that first piece of gold that kick-started gold rush era was found here by a carpenter in Sutter's mill in January 24, 1848, and it pretty much threw out that mentality of traditional ways to get rich. So Sacramento is really the place where that mentality of strike gold began and really changed the world forever. Everyone rushed to strike gold and still do 170 years later. We visited Sutter's fort that is basically a center of the community built by a Swiss pioneer, John Sutter. He has an interesting story, and I linked a separate video about it in the description. And a couple of miles away from Sutter's fort, people built a beautiful riverfront where more than 50 original buildings still stand. It is now a National Historic Landmark, and people call it Old Sac. So Old Sac is truly transports you to the business district of 1850s, has cool shops, games, and restaurants, and we had lunch at Railroad Fish and Chips, which was so good. I do say it's a gem. And I linked the more detailed video for you in the description. Sacramento has three slogans: City of Trees, America's Farm to Fork Capital, and California begins here. And I thought that Jacqueline was a perfect person to ask about it. She runs a real estate agency here and has a YouTube channel about all ins and outs of Sacramento, so she knows the city more than anyone. We met in a rose garden of McKinley Park, which has been around since 1871. And I was so glad that you picked this part.
Okay.
Because we ended up driving through the street, all these trees, I could only imagine them in colors. It's like, oh my gosh, this is so incredible.
We really are the city of trees because MIT did a study on to see who had the most coverage, and what they did is they looked at Google Maps to see where all the greenery was, and what they came up with is that Sacramento has the most trees in the nation. And as far as globally, we are third. In a lot of the neighborhoods, it's very storybook. The leaves start changing around mid-October, and then November it's beautiful. And the city of trees have all these different colors, and it's just beautiful to drive down, and you see them all over the street. And that's probably, that gives me chills because it's a beautiful time of year. So the Farm to Fork came after the City of Trees.
It's actually America's farm to fork. It's not even California, which is very impressive.
They're going bold.
Yeah.
So we grow everything, but the restaurants are so close that we get seasonal food all the time. One of the big things we're known for is fruits and nuts. But our main cash crop is actually wine grapes.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So that's an interesting tidbit. And then, you know, Napa, everyone talks about Napa, but now there's a lot of other places you can go besides Napa that are very close, more affordable, and much more local.
What do you guys love to do?
I think people that come to Sacramento love to lead like an active lifestyle. We are a river town, so we have the American River and the Sacramento River. The river provides so much activity for people, whether you want to run, hike, bike. You have river rafting. Sacramento kind of has the best of both. It is has small town vibes. So it's easy to run into people that you know. It's a lot more peaceful. I lived in Los Angeles for many years, and it's a lot more peaceful lifestyle. And then you can go a car ride away, an hour and a half to the Bay Area or Tahoe or Napa, and have these great weekend getaways and not have to pay the price of housing there.
Is it expensive?
If you want to pick California, I mean, you know it's going to be expensive, but everything's all relative.
I'm asking, you know?
I'm a realtor, so you know when you look at the median price point in California for a home, that's a little over $800,000, and in Sacramento, our median home is around $455,000, and we're just also coming into our own. I think probably in the last 6 years.
Yeah. As the night falls, Old Sac turns on million lights. The colors and reflections are so pretty and they're everywhere. People are enjoying shops and drinks and dancing right on the street. And games are a lot of fun. And Sacramento River, dressed in lights, is absolutely stunning. Well, this is it, you guys. The trip was amazing and very unexpected. I kind of thought, I mean, my bad, could be, but I kind of expected just Cathedral, nothing really happening here. There's no life outside of politics, but boy, was I wrong. It was so much, you know. It's food experience and experiencing the entire history of California all the way from 1850 until today, and Sacramento is still expanding and adding and getting bigger and quite amazing. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and please like the video if you liked it, subscribe and follow me on Instagram, and here's my handle. And all the links are in the description, and including the links to the videos that I shot, other videos I shot here in Sacramento. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.